Welcome back to Light Beyond the Ashes. It's been a while since it's just been me. The last time that I filmed an episode by myself was week one, way back in October of 2025. And now we're May 2026, and I am definitely a different person than I was that many months ago. I think that when you're going through the spiritual awakening journey, it is a very unique experience. It is a very individual experience, and it can be really intense. And so I think this episode for me, I want to just be really honest because I come on here and I share stories of other people's awakening journeys and my own and the contrast that we all walk through. And sometimes it seems like, okay, this is all light and love. And yeah, there's some hard times, but we don't really touch on those very much. And I don't want to have an episode where I'm talking about all of the sad, bad things in my life, but I think I would be, doing a disservice if I wasn't fully honest and transparent about what it's like to go through an awakening journey. So I'm going to just dive right in and start talking about how much life has changed since my awakening. And the more that I've been able to clear my throat chakra, as a lot of you know, I have to clear my voice often on here because I've been so afraid to use my voice to speak my truth about topics of spirituality, healing, miracles. My shirt even says miracles happen every day. And I am a walking, talking testimony of God's love. All right. So with that being said, I'm just going to kind of jump right in. Guys, it is not easy to be an awakened soul. When you're awake, you see through the illusions of this matrix, of this holographic reality that we live in. There is a fear paradigm that we are surrounded by, that we are embedded within. And we chose this. Like we actually, for whatever reason, our souls agreed to come here at this time to do exactly what we're doing. And I now have a greater understanding of what it means to be human, why I came here at this time, because there is a great awakening unfolding on earth. And the astrology also points to a great awakening. This is not just, believe me, bro, I'm Amber and I have a lot to say. This is the astrology that has been forecasted and prophesied through the Hopis, through the Mayans, through all these different ancient civilizations. And a lot of prophets throughout history have seen a great transformation that comes in 2026. And I've been learning about an astrologer, a French astrologist. I think I'm going to probably get his name wrong, but it's like Barbalt or Barbo. He's a French astrologer, and he predicted a lot of things would be happening. And he was right about several of them. One of them was the Berlin Wall in 1989. He predicted that there would be a great transformation in the Soviet Union in 1955, so 34 years before that ever happened. And again, he saw that there was going to be a global kind of worldwide crisis that was very catalytic for all of us on Earth. And that was going to happen in 2020. And he died in 2019. And 2020 was, what do we all know? A global pandemic that forever shaped our reality and was actually the catalyst for a lot of us to awaken. I certainly know it played a role for me. And then again, now one of his prophecies or visions rather is that he saw that in 2026, the summer, July of 2026, there was going to be a great transformation and it was going to be an amazing moment um, for humanity. And then I see this as the enlightenment, the age of awakening, the age of Aquarius, all these different terminologies that have been used throughout history for the actual moment that we're walking through. Now, most of us wouldn't really ever think that we're walking through an extraordinary time. It feels like a very cataclysmic time. It feels very destructive. It feels it feels like the burdens have never been so heavy to carry. It has never been so expensive to live. If you are trying to live in this country, you know that it feels like there is a boot on your neck. I certainly have lived this experience. I may smile a lot and I may be the light and I may be sunshiny, but please do not mistake that for the shadow that I am deeply, deeply familiar with. I have befriended my demons and I have befriended all of the darkness that I have walked through because it shaped me into who I am. I know what it means to suffer emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. I know what it means to struggle. And I deeply empathize with every person who finds themselves in the similar situation where they are also struggling in one of those domains, if not all of them. What I do know is that the contrast must be so stark for the awakening to unfold. The contrast of societies, the contrast of governing, the contrast of our school systems, of healthcare, of family dynamics, of interpersonal relationships. The contrast must be so stark for you to see the truth, for you to see beyond the veil. We've been disillusioned for a really long time, and we felt powerless, and we lived in fear. And when you understand the power of fear and why it's utilized, it's a very, very powerful mechanism for control. Um, when you are afraid, you live in a state of fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Now, we understand fight. Fight makes a whole lot of sense, right? That's where you're like really combative, you're argumentative, you're like, it's him against me. I'm better than you. Look at my perspective. I'm right, you're wrong. This color, that color, red, blue, white, black, divisions, borders, right? Polarity. And that brings up a lot within the human vessel of like division. I feel like when we're fighting, you're so incredibly divided from the other. And that's a very powerful tool. And a lot of us live in that energy. Then there's flight. Flight is you just want to run away. This is so bad. I have to get away. It is insufferable. I can't keep doing this. I have to run away. I know. Me too. Sometimes I definitely have felt I just want to run away. It's been really hard to live in this country and this society of suffering. It's very painful to be a human. Makes sense that we want to flee. Freeze. Yeah, I know that one really well too. I have been paralyzed by fear to where I can't move. I literally have been physically in the room for which I sit in a fetal position, paralyzed by fear, by another person who made me feel very, very small. And I needed help from my friends, my family, and from God. I know what it feels like to be fearful of your voice. You're frozen and paralyzed. You're afraid to take the next step because you're afraid of failing more. You're afraid of falling more. So you are just frozen where you are. That's a very powerful mechanism for control. Fawn. Fawn is less a nervous system state and more maladaptive behavior, but fawning is like, please, let me just be good. If I'm just good, then I'll deserve these things. Do you see me? Do you love me yet? Hold on. I'll sacrifice more of myself so I can be worthy of this next thing. So I can keep my environment safe. Let me adapt myself to make you feel more comfortable. Let me shut off all of these programs and things that I want to get rid of. Let me remove all of my personality because it's not safe to be me. When I'm me, you leave. When I'm me, I get hurt. When I'm me, I lose the job. When I'm me, I'm not safe. Yeah, that's fawning right there. You sacrifice who you really are to make yourself less comfortable, to make others more comfortable. How many of those things intermingle and intermix into the fabric of society, into the fabric of human behavior? And as we awaken, we release these shackles. We regulate our nervous systems. We remember that we're sovereign beings of light, that we're free, that we're eternal, we're infinite. We're actually made of love and joy, and we're all one. When you wake up and you release the programs, you're uncontrollable. Now, that makes you very dangerous. That makes you a threat. It makes you a threat to the norms of society. It makes you a threat to the systems of oppression. It makes you risky. Good. I want you to awaken to your true nature of who you really are. I am awakened to the true nature of who I really am. I am Amber Humphrey. I am a sovereign being of light. I am a messenger of hope. I am a writer. I am a speaker. I am an occupational therapist. I am a podcast host. I am, I guess, some sort of social media influencer because I have to do that to push out the podcast and share these messages of hope. Because the world is big and my little reach in Houston is small. I have to put my voice out there to share it with the world. And maybe you don't have to be a speaker. Maybe you're a creator. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you have a gift of creating healing frequency music. Maybe your gift is creating a new way of healing the world through myofascial release, through tuning forks, through embodying the divine feminine, divine masculine, through being a safe place for people to land, through being an intentional co-creator with the universe. Your purpose may look different than mine, but your purpose is there. The vision you have on your heart is the vision that God gave you to create the reality of your dreams. Now, every single thing that you need lives within inside of you. You are not limited. You are actually infinitely capable of creation. There are self limiting beliefs and there are programs that are put upon you at a very young age to make you feel small and diminished so that you do not step into your power. And as you awaken, it is a very, very painful experience to come to terms with this. The reckoning of how much have I sacrificed of myself for the comfort of others? How much of myself is really even me? How much have I just agreed with the world about? And like, I am these things, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I am so much more than the stories I have told myself and the stories that people have told me who I am. So as you unravel yourself, your psyche, you have ego death after ego death. Your ego is there to protect you as an identity of who you are. It's not a bad thing, but it can be used against you. Like, I am Amber. That is an ego. I am an OT. That is an ego, right? I think that I am these things. It's an ego. It's a physical third dimensional embodiment of what it means to be human and the role that I'm playing in this world. Now I can move beyond that into higher dimensions of consciousness and remember that I am plasma. I am light. I am truth. I am love. That doesn't have a role, a hat, a duty to wear. So I need to be in this physical vessel of what it means to be Amber. So embody who you're meant to be, but release the stories that limit you from becoming the highest version of yourself. On my awakening journey, I had to learn over and over and over again who I really was by being around others who I was making myself feel small around. And when I had to confront that, because I was really afraid of being my most authentic self, I felt so much shame. I felt so much self abandonment because I could have been living a much more fulfilling personal life had I just had the self confidence to know that I was worthy as I was. I did not need external validation from the world to tell me that I was worthy of a life well lived. And I don't, I don't have any villains in my story. I have souls that I made contracts with, agreements with, who through pain, through betrayal, through heartache, through suffering, being misunderstood, they were the catalyst for my growth and my healing. And if we're all one, that means that we are all one, including those that hurt me the most. We are one of this source God love energy, and we are fractaled into becoming the ego that lives on earth, the individual that lives on earth. But my remembrance has taught me that we are still one. And so I embody the Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. The Hawaiian prayer that has gotten me through healing, forgiving, moving forward, releasing any pain of what people have done to me or perceptions of pain of what has been done to me. People come in and out of my life and out of all of our lives, really. And I always say it's for a reason, a season, or a lesson. And I can sometimes feel what it's going to be. I'm like, all right, this is going to be a brief one, but it's going to teach me something. Or this one, oh my God, are you going to be here for a lifetime too? Are you going to stick with me? Are you my soul family? Like I have met people and in an instant, and you know who you are. In an instant, we remembered that we were soul family. In an instant, we remembered that we were one. And like the connection, the love that I've had for these people who were minutes before strangers. Oftentimes, just when I'm scrolling on my phone, I think it's so funny that um, we've created this app. For me, it's TikTok, where there's other awakened souls, and I'm just scrolling, and my energy connects and lands with somebody. And I just met another one today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are you authentic? And when I meet them, they remember me and my authenticity. And one of my besties, Maile, she told me that when we first met, like, she's like, how can you imagine? Can you imagine that we literally met each other? I saw you on TikTok. We were scrolling past. I went back. I was like, nope, I'm going to watch that video, shared it with my group, my soul tribe group. They're like, oh, yeah, that's my friend Maile. Wow. We work with her. I'm like, wait, what? Have you been hiding another bestie from me? And I add her into my world and we start texting. And the first night we're texting, we're crying to each other about our soul remembrance, what we've gone through. And then we're best friends. And I'll never forget when I met her in Michigan when we went to go help heal an adult with autism with my bestie, Kristen. And I was going through some things at that time and I was letting go of some emotions. And she looked at me and she was like, "Do you just need to be witnessed? Or do you want me to help you walk through this?" And I looked at her and I like was stunned by the question. And I just started crying. And I was like, I don't think I've ever been asked that question before. She was like, "I want to witness you right now for what you've gone through. You have walked through so much darkness in the silence and no one's even really noticed or known. I see you." And then I fell apart and cried and we hugged. And I just, that soul connection of somebody who sees you. And I have been so blessed with these mirrors, these souls along the way that have been such guiding lights in my life who there's not a lot of people in my 3D world that are awake to that level, to that frequency of that much knowing of what my soul needed. So when people like her and others come into my world, I am rich. I now know I'm abundant. I have the most incredible soul friendships that have brought me back to life. Money is a frequency, money is energy. And while I might not be perceived to have a ton of money in this moment, I am rich because I have these connections that set my soul on fire and remind me of my self worth and who I am. And then that is the currency that will lead me forward into stepping into my power. And that will bring in my wealth. People who pour into you, who love you unconditionally, they see every side of you and they say, "That's the one. I still want her. She's special. She's something. She's worth pouring into." For much of my life, I've met people who I felt like I loved deeply, but I didn't really always resonate with. I felt like I always spoke at a different level, not better or worse, but definitely higher consciousness level. I always questioned everything and everyone around me. And I was like, but why? But why do we do that? Yeah, but why? Why does it have to be this way? But why? And when you realize that that's actually like, that's you being sovereign, that's you being awake. You're not just going with the flow and believing what everyone tells you is just, this is what we do. But why? Why do we do it like that? I'm really curious. And like this goes all the way back to, I think, one of the first early episodes where I was talking about how when I was getting confirmed in high school, I was like a 15-year-old doing Bible study in my living room. And we were talking about, I think it was Matthew, the book of Matthew that we were learning. We were talking about in Jesus's role and who he was and all of the wonderful things that he did. And at one point, I just got kind of curious and I asked my pastor, I raised my hand and I was like, "Hey, I'm just like curious. If Jesus was a Jew, why are we Christian? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, shouldn't we be Jewish?" And he was like, he was befuddled. He didn't even know how to answer the question. And it was like from early on, I've always kind of questioned authority and what we've been told and why. And, I don't think I'll ever get that answer. I'm not quite sure. Maybe someone out there knows. But I was never given the answer from my own church back then. And I think that, you know, we are programmed from a really early age to just kind of keep quiet, eyes forward, let the teacher teach you what you need to know. But for me, that breeds indoctrination. Like that's what I see happening around me. And I don't understand how we are willingly allowing our children and ourselves to be further programmed into this is just what we believe. If you're if you're Republican, this is what you believe. If you're a Democrat, this is what you believe. If you're Christian, this is what you believe. If you're Jewish, this is what you believe, and you don't question it. Like in any scenario, within any kind of organization of any kind, like if you're not questioning the authorities that are teaching you, are you even having like a dialogue that is actually expansive, or is it more for you of a system of control of this is just what you believe and this is what you're going to say and this is how you're going to act? And same thing with family dynamics, right? And so I think it's just as you awaken, like be curious and lean into who it is that you really want to be. And I have these soul connections that actually support and respect my curiosity and my questions, and they teach me when I don't know. And I think that's part of why I'm here is to teach you if you don't know. And I think there's a lot of people who are suffering right now, and that's why I feel very called to tap into this topic today because you're not suffering for no reason. I know it feels insurmountable. Many of us cannot afford to live right now. Many of us cannot afford to go to work and drive our car. Many of us cannot afford groceries. Many of us cannot afford our bills. Many of us are struggling in deeply profound ways. And we have to show up. We still have to go to work. We still have to be a mom, a dad, a caregiver. You still have to put that hat on every day and go be the role that your ego has told you that you need to be, right? That's what we're told. Just suck it up. Everyone has a hard life. Just put one foot in front of the other, right? What I am noticing around me in many different spheres is that it's getting more and more complicated as a human to push through because the frequency on earth is rising that much. And as the frequency on earth is rising, you are being confronted with your own healing, your own nervous system. Your nervous system is getting to a point of being completely and absolutely dysregulated. And in the dysregulated state, for which we talked about earlier, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, you get sick. You get physically ill, emotionally ill, mentally ill, spiritually ill. You will hit a point in time when your body just says no more because you're ignoring your body's cues. You're not listening. We are so tapped out of listening to our body and our heart. We are listening only to our mind and society and the pressures of both. And the mind is supposed to be this like processing unit that just takes in all this extrasensory perception, right? I'm learning. I see the lights over here. I'm seeing the signals. I'm reading that nonverbal body language. It's a computer. Your brain is supposed to take it all in and then like it creates meaning, right? But your heart space, your heart vortex is magic. And when you create from the heart, from a place of joy and love and peace and unity, that's actually co-creating with God. That's what it literally is. But when you're just trying to overthink everything and overanalyze it all, like if I just worked harder and if I just did this, that's 3D programming. You don't have to do that. You literally can meditate and call it in. And while it might take time because you are not yet the frequency match for those things for which you want, because you want that house, you want that relationship, you want that money, you want that job, but is your nervous system ready to hold that? Like, are you sure? If I gave you $100 million today, here you go, as you are, really unhealed, deep money wounds, lack mindset, self-abandonment, self-worth issues, how long would you be able to hold on to that $100 million? Would you even be worthy, feel like you're worthy of receiving it? Like receiving is literally its own thing of I have to be willing to receive. I have to be open to receive. And a lot of us are really good at giving and terrible about receiving. Okay. I give you the love of your life. I'm going to give you the most handsome or beautiful partner they're the total package. They have everything you'd ever want. They meet your emotional needs. They meet your spiritual needs. They meet your physical needs. They are who you've dreamt of. Are you ready to hold that? Are you healed enough to not push them away? Are you healed enough to reciprocate that love unconditionally? Or is it still going to have conditions and you're going to push them away? I don't know. You tell me. Like, I think that if you could understand that there is a deep amount of healing that is required for your own vessel, for you to be able to receive the things that you have been praying for, that you desire most, but you have negated any kind of reflection of your own self and what you needed to do to heal, to receive that. I'm here to be a mirror to you and reminder like, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. It starts with you. You have to go within. And when you go within, you find the eternal flame, the eternal light. You find the remembrance. You actually have a contact and connection with your higher self, your higher source. And it is beautiful up here. It is peaceful. I feel the happiest when I'm either in a channel or talking to people about channeling and their connection with spirit because it is so authentic, it is so pure, and it is absolutely otherworldly because the earth is like dark, man. The earth is dense. The earth is full of contrast. But when you're in connection with source and spirit and God and whatever you want to call it semantically, I do not care. When you're in that connection, that divination, that remembrance, you feel safe. You feel seen. And so many of us are craving feeling safe and seen. And I remember being told from my angels during my massive spiritual awakening in 2023. I recorded it. I don't know how I'm ever going to share it. Like they're so personal, but I do want to start feeling more brave and sharing these channels. And who knows, I might just share one today. But the angels wrapped their arms around me and I didn't even know it was coming. The story is I was watching the Pamela Anderson documentary and I found her soul to be pure. And my Elay just told me, Amber, your soul is pure. You see people as if they were children. You see their heart, their real soul. You see their highest timeline. That's your superpower. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly it. I do. I look at people and I'm like, oh, I see what you can do. You're so magnificent. And then they disappoint me and they don't do those things because they choose a different path because they're not ready to choose their highest timeline yet. And I've had to learn that the hard way. But when I was watching that documentary and I saw her be so pure hearted despite her pain, it triggered something within me. And then I heard a voice telling me, do you see how pure your soul is now? You are her. She's a mirror in this moment to you. I was like, a mirror to Pamela Anderson. Like, what? This is insane. So the story is funny. However, the moment was beautiful. And I felt in that moment an infinite army of angels wrapping their arms around me and holding me close and telling me, you are safe. My body goes from being stiff and tight, and you hear me in the recording, release. And I'm like the softest my body has ever been because I felt safe. I felt held. I felt supported. I felt loved. I felt seen. And in that light, I remembered. I remembered that I was never alone. I remembered that I was always connected. Might have been felt like an invisible connection for a really long time, but I was always connected to a higher power. I'd always had my intuition be really strong, but I ignored it because I was fawning, because I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to feel safe. I wanted to feel seen. And the world didn't really provide that to me very much. Though people did try, I accepted that help when I could. And, my husband's one of them. He stood by my side since really 1999 to now. My friends, Trudy, Kristen, Brittany, I've got these amazing soul connections, my Elay. I've got all these wonderful humans who have held me through some really hard days. There's infinitely more. Danny, I could go on and name all of you. You know who you are. In the flesh, I had friends who believed in the God that I now know. There was a lot of people who believed in a God that was really fearful and a God that was judgmental and I don't know, divided. But then I had people who reminded me of God's love and how they treated other people, whether they were atheists or agnostics. They treated people well. They loved people deeply. And one of the very first moments that I had clairvoyance, like really, really strongly, was after we lost our closest family friend, Jim. Jim is one of my biggest angels. He's like my husband's second dad. And Jim's Scottish and he's just the coolest. And he'd call me Lass. And we would sit at dinner on Sunday night dinner and we would just have the most beautiful conversations. Like everyone's done doing dishes and in different rooms and we're still talking about life. And he was just this magnetic soul who the minute I met him, I just loved him. He deeply stimulated my brain and we could talk about controversial topics and it would be so fun. I love a good debate. He was safe for me. And when he passed away, a hole was ripped open in our lives that tore the fabric of our reality apart in so many ways, so many ways. But when Jim died, it was before Hurricane Harvey. And if you're from Houston in the Texas area, you know that Hurricane Harvey is like a mile marker in your life. You're like, where were you for 9/11? Where were you for Harvey? Because it wrecked so many lives. It destroyed so many homes. It uprooted so many businesses. And we had just opened our company. We had just opened Open Door. And so like to be, in this energy of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like everyone's houses are flooded. The businesses are flooded. You can't get to and from work. Like it was a really big deal. Um, and I had this vision before Harvey had happened of water filling Jim's house. And mind you, like Jim had died months before Hurricane Harvey. And he would always be wearing like a polo shirt and some khakis, a belt, and some like steel toe boot shoes. No matter the weather, 110 degrees out by the pool chasing the kids or indoors and it's 30 degrees, outside. Doesn't matter. He was always wearing the same exact kind of fit, the OOTD. And Jim in this vision in my dream was wearing all white. still wearing those steel toe boots, but all white. And there was water had washed away everything around us. And I could see his belongings. And I remember being like on the ground and trying to pick everything up. And I'm trying to grab all his things and save them. And he comes up to me, walks up to me, and he helps me stand up and he looks me in the eyes. He's like, "They're just things, Amber. They're just things. You don't need them where you're going." And Jim was an atheist or agnostic at best. Like he didn't believe in any of this. And so the fact that I can tap in and talk to him and after I had no idea that that was actually me having a connection in the astral. I had no idea at the time. It just felt like a really great dream. Um, but now I connect with him whenever I want. And he's given some really profound messages to my husband and has been such a vessel for healing for us. Um, the fact that Jim saw this moment, me clamoring and looking for, Cole's childhood things that were in the house or his lifelong things that were in the house, because Jim's house was like a time capsule. Cole grew up in this house. And it meant a lot. His things, for whatever reason, meant a lot to us in some way. And fast forward that year, Hurricane Harvey comes and his house was out of the disaster zone. It wasn't like, okay, at first everything's fine, but if you were here and lived that moment, the city intentionally I didn't know, had to, but chose to flood other neighborhoods in the city to preserve downtown and all the bayous from overflowing and making it so much worse. They sacrificed one side of town for another. And that was tremendously painful to watch. So many houses get destroyed and lives lost and just all the different horrible things that came from that decision. Jim's house had 6 feet of water in it and he ran his business out of it. Like it was a really big moment for us to have walked through that. But I remembered as I drove through Bear Creek and I saw 6 to 10 foot tall piles of trash, of debris, of furniture, of memories, of people's things. I remember Jim telling me, Amber, these are just things. You don't need them where you're going. But it feels gut wrenching to lose it all. And I still like that message still stands with me because I've lost so much as I've awakened. I've lost so many people as I've awakened. I've gone through tremendous, tremendous grief. I've walked through fear that I have a very difficult time putting into words. I've almost taken my life because of the fear of losing things, of not being able to do certain things with my life the way I thought I once would be able to because of the betrayal that set me on my healing journey. I lived in anger for a really long time because all these other people get to have whatever they want and they have no idea what happened to me. And if you only knew what happened to me and feeling like I needed this justice to be told and you need to know every detail about my story because if you knew, you'd care. No, they won't. No, they won't. People who hurt you do not care about you. People who know you will never, ever intentionally and knowingly sabotage you because they see you, they know you, they witness you. They only want you to succeed. They only want you to feel love because they love you unconditionally. That is the relationship you should be seeking out, is someone who loves you unconditionally, who will not leave you when times get hard. When you have an emotional breakdown, when you say, I'm not okay, they stay. They don't leave. They don't run away. Those are not your real soul tribe. They're your lessons. They were there for a season. They're soul contracts. They're here to help you grow. See them for what they are. Thank you. Thank you for helping me see myself. Thank you for waking me up. I'm sorry if you were hurt along the way by me choosing myself, by me choosing to heal after decades and decades of pain and suffering. I love you. You helped me find me. Please forgive me for any role I had in hurting you. And if we can embody this Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian prayer again, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. If you can embody this, because no one is here to just punish you. They're here to teach you, for sure, definitely. Learned a lot. We make that same mistake again? Oh, no. No, no, no. But will I be confronted with a pattern of behavior of my own? Yes. Do I have to forgive myself for that pattern and love myself and thank myself and forgive myself? Yeah, absolutely. It's not always about the external characters. It is and will always be about you. You are the main character. I am the main character of my life. Every soul who walks and breathes this earth is the sole main character of their life, and every other person is a fractal of remembrance of who they are. They are mirrors of who they want to become and who they no longer want to be. You're showing you where the work is. If you are walking through an abandonment wound, if you are feeling like you are not worthy, if you are feeling like you are not chosen, that you are not enough because somebody else didn't choose you, because somebody else didn't validate you, that shows you that there's more work to do. It's not bad. It just is. Release it. Embody oneness with yourself. Let go of the programs of division, of fracture, of I am this or I am that. I'm a victim. I am a trauma survivor. I am this label. I am that. Those things can be true about you. They are true about me. But I no longer identify them as my purpose of living. Why? I don't need them. I'm sovereign. I'm free. It has taken me years to get here. I know what I know. I am who I am. And that is more than enough. And I am so excited about this next journey, this next chapter I'm stepping into because I've released fear. Like that felt like Mission Impossible. I am going to be on stages speaking my truth. I am going to be all over the world talking about this, whether it be through the airwaves like it is right now, or social media, or physically traveling and living life the way that it was meant to be lived without being oppressed, without feeling like I don't have enough to travel. Like, I'm done with the self-limiting beliefs. I know that I am the one writing this. I am the director. I am the producer. I am the audience. I am the writer. I am the actor. I am everything. I am all of it. And so are you. None of this is by mistake. Everything is by design. Now you have infinite choices to make. You have infinite pathways that you can take. I do believe that if your soul has chosen to have a final destination of this is what I really want, I call it the golden path. I find that we'll all get on our golden path should we make that choice for ourselves. I know I'm on my golden path. I know that I fear no person, place, or thing. And my mantra right now is you can either get on my team or you can get the fuck out of my way. Like, period. I don't mean it maliciously. I just do not have time for any more obstacles or hurdles of me stepping into who I've meant to be this whole entire time. I'm not meant to play small. Neither are you. None of us are. It's programming. They don't want to hear what I have to say. Yeah, we do. What I have to say isn't important. Yeah, it is. I'm not creative. Yes, you are. You are literally source creator in human form. Create. It could be anything. It could be dance. It can be music. It can be art. It can be a new therapy style. It can be a new way of healing the world. It can be architecture. It can be anything you want it to be. Literally, new systems of healthcare, new systems of governance, new systems of schools, new systems of healing. Like, come on, create. You hold the key to your sacred divinity. You had it the whole time. I'm here to remind you that it's literally in your hand waiting for you to just turn it. It lives in the heart vortex. Turn your key and walk through the door, and do not let fear ever persuade you otherwise. I have gone through hell, absolute hell. I refuse to go back. I do believe that hell is a place on earth and so is heaven. I do believe that it's frequency. When you live in shame and guilt and self-abandonment and anger and rage and self-loathing and pity and all of those really low vibrational energies, they're measured. I think it's like you can go into a Faraday cage and measure different frequencies of human consciousness because the heart vortex shoots out like 3 meters from the body. The Heart Math Institute measures this stuff. And you can see that the highest vibrational frequency is authenticity, even above love. Okay, now that you know, what are you going to do with that information? Heal. Elevate your soul's consciousness. Being authentic is felt by others. You can tell when someone is telling the truth or not. You can just feel it. Even if you don't have the actual answers, like someone just feels dishonest, right? It just feels like, that doesn't resonate. That feels like it's putting on a show. Or, that feels dishonest. But when someone is just truth telling, for which I do every single week on this podcast, I have people telling their true stories and I just hold the space of believing them. They tell more of their truth in a more authentic way. And then they leave feeling lighter because so often they don't feel believed and they've been ostracized and othered by people who promise to love them. Your family, your friends, coworkers, whoever the hell it might be, children that were supposed to love you. Well, maybe they were here to teach you. Maybe they were here for their soul contract time frame and they've moved on and you're no longer in resonance with them. It's just dissonance. It's everything is vibrational frequency and light. Every single thing is vibrational frequency and light. The study of cymatics will show this to you. The study of vibrational frequencies will show this to you. You're never being punished. You're always being polished. Every single connection, every single moment that you walk through is refining you into your highest self. And what a gift it is once you remember that. Because then you like walk through life and you're not like, oh, he's a jerk or she's this or whatever. You're just like, oh, well, I guess we're here to teach each other some things. So let's see what we have to learn. And I know that I have several of those in my life right now where I'm like, okay, this might feel turbulent. This might feel a little bumpy. This is a little confusing for me. What am I walking through right now? But I know that I'm the one writing this. So I know it works out for my highest and greatest good, for that is my manifestation. My manifestation is everything is always working out for my highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good for humanity. Period. Full stop. Previously, it was I'm the healthiest, wealthiest, happiest version of myself surrounded by peace, love, and positivity. And that still is. I still want that, right? I still absolutely want that. But when I zoomed all the way out and I was like, listen, no matter what I'm walking through, it's for my highest and greatest good. No matter who hurts me, I'm for my highest and greatest good. No matter who's ignoring me and not talking to me, it's for my highest and greatest good. No matter who abandons me, it's for my highest and greatest good. No matter who's mad at me, it's for my highest and greatest good. No matter what financial circumstances I'm in, it's for my highest and greatest good. Because now I have the law of, I've detached. I've literally detached. For a long time, I was able to detach from like material things. Like, okay, my house, like obviously I need my house for shelter. Thank you. Thank you, house. I've even written a love letter to my house because she has survived so many natural disasters in Houston from freezes and floods and windstorms. My house is like, man, are we divinely protected? So I give gratitude to my house, but I've also had to have detachment from this is where I live. Money. Money comes and goes. It's energy. It flows in and out of your life, right? Especially if you're low vibrational and you feel like you don't have enough, like it's even harder to get more money. And I lived in that life for a really long time. But now I just know that money loves me. Money comes to me easily. Money finds me fast, right? When money comes, it lasts. Like these mantras that you hear on TikTok, it's like embody it, believe it. It's a frequency. Tap into it. Money can come to me, but I'm not attached to money because money actually is not even backed by anything other than wars at this point in time. And God, am I tired of that shit. Like it's not fully backed by gold. Like we've printed too much money. We're too much in debt. Come on, let's just be for real for a moment. Money is a concept, a very powerful concept that you do need to live and operate in this world. If you don't have enough of it, you can't eat. If you don't have enough of it, you can lose things. I've had my car repossessed. I've almost lost my house after the things that happened to me. I literally watched my life savings get sucked away because of the decision of one person and what happened after that. Because I had to try to survive, because I needed money. I'm not saying money isn't real in that capacity. I'm just saying, what value does it really have? Does having more money make you more of a valuable person than me or a homeless person? Absolutely not. It actually, a lot of people who have way more money than they need, I can't even imagine having like billions and billions of dollars or trillions of dollars. Like that blows my mind that anybody would want to hoard that much wealth. Like it does not make you a better person. A lot of people are hollow inside who have that much money. They're constantly trying to fill the dopamine by getting more things and more experiences, but when they go home at night, they're empty. They don't have authentic love. They don't love themselves authentically. They're trying to fill a hole through status a lot of times. And then you have all the material things. You've got your cars, your fancy Lamborghinis, you've got your jet planes, you've got all the cool things, you've got the mansions. Okay, cool. You've got cool things. Awesome. Jim told me you can't take it with you when you die. So, like, enjoy it now. Have fun with it. But I've detached from needing it. I don't need that to feel fulfillment. People. Well, I've certainly loved a lot of people who have turned on me many times in my life, and I'm sure many times in other lives. You have to detach from all people, places, and things. Detach from what this person means to you. This connection feels like this. It must mean this. This connection is this. Oh, I'm going to have that. This is what comes from it. Because I see people's highest and greatest potentials, and I'm often disappointed. Ugh, it's like a curse. I'm like, I see you. Do you see you? I see that you're love. I see your child, your inner child that just wants to be loved, and I'll heal that and I'll love that. I'll nurture it. And everyone tells me it feels so good to be loved by you. I'm like, oh, I know. Trust me, I know. I now love myself the way that I love everyone else because I've been told it feels so good. And boy, does it feel so good to be loved by me. That's not egotistical. It's just fact. It feels really good to be loved by me because I love so purely. I love so innocently. Feels good. People take advantage of it. And people hurt me and they turn on me and they ignore me and they abandon me and I pretend I don't exist. That hurts. However, I love myself the most now. So I'm not missing out on those who don't love me fully because I love myself fully. Detaching from all of these earthly things and these identities is a key to stepping into your full power because then you are not worried about losing them all. I've lost so much for so long. What's one more? Okay. You came into my life. You left my life. I had this thing. I lost this thing. I had money. I lost the money. It ebbs and it flows. And I'm trying my very best to sit in this space of neutrality of my 0 point of knowing that all there is this infinite now moment. I'm living in this infinite now moment. I might as well have fun while I'm doing it and be joyful and remember that everything is as it should be at all times. And everything is always working out for my highest and greatest good and for the highest and greatest good of humanity, because that is my intention for which I live by. So am I ever really suffering anymore? Eh, to others, maybe. For me, nah, I'm good. I might cry and alchemize it because I'm a human and I'm still going to feel the human emotions of sadness and joy and bitterness and anger and frustration. Like I am going to still experience those until I'm non-physical. I'm going to always experience those. But I have a greater understanding and acceptance of it to where I'm like, okay, if this is meant for me, it will never miss me. This will come back to me if it is for me. Right. And now I am leaning into my own creations. Now I'm leaning into my voice. Now I'm leaning into finally putting the structure behind what I want to share because I've created for 3.5 damn years, y'all. I have a lot of things I'm trying to create. I've recorded my entire spiritual awakening from the minute it started happening. Like the sheer amount of content I have between writings, channel messages, recordings, and videos, and all of the content that has yet to be created is pretty astounding. I've gone through it and I don't even know how I'm going to put it all together. But what better time than now of when I'm fully loving myself to not being afraid to lean into it. And that's why I'm recording this episode. It's because I was kind of afraid to come back and just talk with just me and you. I was afraid of if you'd be interested in just hearing me talk and not a guest talk. That's silly. You're here for a reason. You're listening for a reason. You made it this far for a reason. You're either trying to learn something, you're interested in what I have to say, or you're stalking me, for which I'm sure is going to happen because people still want to see behind the curtain of what's really been going on in my life. I've been pretty private, even though I'm pretty public. And when I'm speaking vulnerably and honestly, my words tend to try to be weaponized against me, but I'm not afraid anymore because I don't fear any person, place, or thing. Not at all. And I think that this is a beautiful moment and a beautiful reminder for you to listen to your own intuition, to lean into your own creations. Don't let society, families, friendships, norms freak you out and scare you from being who you really are. Be authentically you. I wrote a book, Be the Youest You That Ever You'd. I'd like for you to be the youest you that ever you'd because that helps other people embody the same. When you're waking up and you're going through a prolonged healing journey of the body, mind, and soul, You're going to confront demons that live within you. They might feel supernatural. It is. It is. When you're in a really low vibrational state, you're going to call in lower vibrational energies. It is up to you to protect yourself. It is up to you for you to have an impenetrable boundary in your toroidal field, your bioelectric field that goes up and around you like a sacred little donut of light. Look it up. Toroidal field. And I want you to remember that you are sacred in that energy space and that you can only let in what you're giving permission and consent to let in. Fortify yourself. Raise your vibrational frequency. Love yourself with all that you are. Accept yourself for all that you are. Forgive yourself for all that you've done. And know that you are worthy of a life worth living. You are worthy of abundance. You are worthy of joy. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of health, and you are worthy of wealth. We all are. But when we live in these persistent states of fight, flight, freeze, and fawn and fear, we cannot create. We cannot live healthfully. We are so much more powerful than we've ever been told, everybody. You're so powerful. You're so, so, so powerful. Like, there's psychic schools are happening and popping up all over the world. I'm watching people do telekinesis and telepathy and all these other really cool things with their minds. And I'm like, am I living in a different reality? Well, I guess I'm living in my highest reality and my golden timeline because this is what I'm seeing. And disclosure is coming and disclosure is out there. And it's not at all what you think either. It's not just, hey, aliens are real. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, you can call them what you want. People have every kind of word for them. And there are a lot of different kinds. How naive and silly of you to think, and small-minded of you to think that humans are the only like creation and life force that exists in the galaxies and the cosmos and the universe. Like, statistically, no. Statistically, no. Also, what if Earth, it has higher dimensions of existence that are layered within it and on top of it that you can't perceive? What if? What if the ancient civilizations and societies and all of these things that are carved in stone are really depicting things that are real, that really happened? What if? What if you challenged yourself and just got curious and started watching some ancient aliens and ancient apocalypse and learned about different time periods on Earth and the different things that are like, how did someone with a chisel and a hammer and stone do this? That looks like laser cut. That's interesting. Get curious. Just get curious. It's all I'm asking you is to get curious. I invite you into the land of curiosity to see, of questioning authority. Question what you know, because you might be excited by what you learn, what you find out about yourself. So I think I'm going to do this some more. I think I'm going to share more of my voice because I have so much to talk about. But I always want to respect my guests and hear their stories. And that's why they come on my show, is I want to hear about their stories, not just mine. But I think this is where I'm going to be stepping more into my power, and my own authenticity is to sit back behind the camera and just start telling you what I've been up to, what I've been experiencing. And the dark nights of the soul are transformative. They are painful. They are sometimes a very prolonged season, but when you come out the other side of it, you have deeper wisdom. You have deeper knowledge and gnosis of who and what you are and what you're capable of. You understand alchemy. You understand transmuting energy. You understand the importance of energetic boundaries and protection. You understand the importance of grounding. Get barefoot in the grass, put your hands in the soil, go garden, go hug a tree. Yeah, it works. It's not bullshit. Go hug a damn tree. Your heart to a tree for like 30 seconds minimum, up to like 3 to 5 minutes, just like sitting there, you're literally attaching to a creation of God that is deeply rooted in the ground and goes up into the ethers with its trees, limbs, and branches, right? Like, you're getting grounded while you're also calling in this energy, and it clears you and you're releasing your own energy. Like, guys, we didn't have boxes that we lived in with fluorescent lighting for thousands of years. This is new. And it really does disrupt the human body. All of the electromagnetic frequencies of all the cell phones and all of the electricity that's all around you has an actual measurable effect on your human body. Like, the food that we're putting in our body has an impact on the human body. Every single thing that we interact with as humans in these modern civilizations impacts the human body. Indigenous cultures had this ancient wisdom because they were deeply connected to Earth. They know the truth. And Western civilization washed it away. And Western civilization literally destroyed ancient wisdom and knowledge. And we're only returning to what we once knew. This is not new information. This is actually a remembrance. And we owe the indigenous so much for what they have endured. And that is part of what me and my friend Maile would love to do, is to be a part of the healing of indigenous cultures and native cultures across not only America, but I'm sure the world, because the impact of colonialization has destroyed ancient artifacts, ancient wisdom, ancient cultures that deserved better. These are our ancestors. And a lot of us are more connected to them than we would ever know. We are one. We are one. We are one. Borders are man-made. The idea that we are divided through race, ethnicity, religion, culture is incorrect. Through gender, sexual orientation, it's all incorrect. We are one is a full sentence, full stop. Humanity is humanity. A soul is a soul is a soul. It does not matter what the color of your skin is. It does not matter your affiliation. It does not matter the organization for which you attend. You're a soul. So this message is for you. You're more powerful than you've ever been told. You are so, so magnificent. You're so loved. And when you can turn that love that you give so easily to everybody else inwards, and you love yourself with all that you are, because now you know you're worthy of it and you know it feels good, watch as you heal. Give yourself grace as you do so. It will be bumpy. It's going to be turbulent. You've suppressed a lot of emotions for a really long time. You haven't had space to heal. You didn't have enough PTO hours, especially not in America. Like I'm my own business owner, right? And like there was days where I'm like, I don't know how I can breathe. I don't know how I can get up and go forward, but I still had to. I had little humans relying on me. I had to put one foot in front of the other. I had to keep showing up. And then my body would crash over and over again for many, many years as soon as I stepped foot in my house. Because I was hurting, but I still showed up. So I know that you might have obligations that require you to still show up. I know that. I know you can't just pause your whole life. I respect and totally resonate with that. But do what you can in little small ways. Go to a park, go play, go run around, journal, draw, put yourself in front of a camera, even if it's on your own phone, and then hide the album. Speak your truth, write the book, create the art that you've always wanted to. Be the freedom fighter that you know you are. I see you. And like Maile witnessed me, I witness you. And I'm so proud of you for what you've overcome to get to this moment. If you've landed here, it's not by circumstance. And if you've made it this far, then you know that it's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. Your soul's choosing to hear this message right here, right now. I'm proud of you. What decision that you take next is up to you. To lean all the way in and go remember and go on your own spiritual healing journey, to further your spiritual healing journey and expand your consciousness even more. And remember that there is so much more that we don't understand. We're going to be infinitely learning because Creator is infinitely learning through us. There's so much to learn. Go be so curious and have fun along the way. If you resonate with this message, then your vibration's probably pretty high already. I love you and I see you. And this is not the last time I'm going to hop on here and talk to you guys. I'm going to do it more often because it feels good for me, and I hope it feels good for at least one other person out there. You're not alone. You never have been. You never will be. Your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides are right beside you every step of the way, guiding you. And if you need any kind of messages of hope, my channel, Light Beyond the Ashes, is on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube. And I'm here to help you heal. And remember, I work on nervous system regulation each and every day. If you want help, you can email me at lightbeyondtheashes@gmail.com. You can message me on any of the platforms, and I will do everything I can to support you in your awakening journey. If you ever want to be a guest on my podcast, also send me an email or message me because I'm looking for new people for June, July. This is an exciting time on Earth. The stars don't lie. The energy doesn't lie. We're all waking up to the truth of who and what we really are. We're in the Great Awakening. Buckle up. It's about to get really good. As a reminder that I say every single time, when I heal, you heal. When you heal, I heal. And when we all heal, we create the new earth together. We rise together and we are one. I can't wait to see what we do next. I love you so much. Keep going. We've got this.